Okay, good morning. Hopefully you can all hear me. As most of you know, I am Nicki Wadley, Head of Governance at Ormiston, and this is my colleague Jess Hughes, who is the Governance Administrator. So the plan for today is that we're going to take you through a live demonstration of OATnet and then a question and answers session. To my left, you may see me speaking to somebody. We've got Adrian from IT, who's feeling a bit camera shy and isn't going to come on screen, but he is here to support us with any technical issues that we have or to answer any technical questions when we get to the question and answer session. Before we start, if we can ask you to please switch off your microphone and switch off your video. We have a number of people on the webinar this morning, and as we're live, it can be quite distracting having lots of different voices coming in and being able to see lots of different people sat in their homes or offices or wherever you all are. It can become quite distracting for us on the screens. So if you could switch those off. If you do have any questions as we go along, if you look to the bottom of your screen, you see a little speech bubble icon, a little white icon. If you click on that, it will open up to the left of your screen a conversation box, and in there you can type us messages. We'll look at those when we get to the question and answers session, and if we need to come back in, we will. As you can see, Adrian's just put a hello in there. If you want to let us know that you're there.
Hi, Julia.
Then please do so. If at any point during the webinar you have any difficulties, you can't hear us, or as I said at the end, you want us to go back over anything, just write us a little message in there, and then yeah, we'll respond to that. Thank you, Julia and Heidi, for saying hello. Hello to you both too. So the agenda for today is that we're going to take you through an OATnet live demonstration. Jess is going to do the majority of that. Then we're going to look at OATnet questions and answers. So we've got some questions that were raised in the webinar last night, and also some that clerks and governors have previously sent in to us for those people who couldn't make the webinar. And then we'll talk to you about next steps. As you'll see as we go through the webinar, OATnet isn't quite where we absolutely want it to be, and we've got some work to do on that, and IT have got some work that they're doing on that over the summer. But we'll let you know where those steps are and what will be happening next, and when you can expect things to be in place. The other thing to tell you is that we're recording the webinar today with the view that it will be uploaded to our Yammer site. So if we look particularly nervous, that's why. Okay. So we're now, by the power of technology, going to switch to live screen. We really are.
Magic. So this is the homepage of OATnet. When you log in using the login details that I've sent to you, this will be the first page that you see. As you can see, there are a number of tabs at the top where you can find more information on other departments at OAT. The only tab that clerks and governors don't have access to is the OAT HQ tab, but you've got access to all the other tabs up here if you want more information.
So that's generic information about Ormiston and those different departments. And as Jess says, you have absolutely free access to each of those information tabs.
Yeah. On the left-hand side, you'll see your Academies logo. If you click on that, it'll take you to your Academies page, which I'll show you in a second. We've got news here. As you can see, our most recent governor's newsletter is there. We've got events. We put up events, and so do other departments in the OAT. We've got brief updates from our OAT website, and Ormiston Academies Trust have a Twitter as well, and you can find a feed there. So I'm going to take you to the Academies tab, and we're going to use Ormiston Bolingbroke Academy as an example this morning. And as you can see, we have the KPI dashboard here, and it's a really useful page for governors, as you can see key progress indicators, which may help you develop some questions for your governing body meetings. All governors have access to this. You also have access to external data, which is where you can find all of the external data websites in one place conveniently for you so that you don't have to go searching for them individually. As you may be aware, Data Dashboard will be decommissioned from September and replaced with a new online system. And we'll put that one up there as a replacement when that does happen. As you can see, you can find all of the external data websites here.
And as Jess said, you will only have access to your governing body. So if you're a clerk who clerks for 3 governing bodies, you would see in that Academy homepage 3 Academy logos. So if you try to access another governing body's or another Academy site, you'd be denied access from that.
Yeah. There are 3 tabs at the bottom here: Governor Meetings, Governor Training, and the Governor Confidential folder. Governors have access to Governor Meetings and Governor Training, but only clerks have access to the Governor Confidential folder. I'll take you to the Governor Meetings tab now. And we're going to go to the current academic year, and I'll show you. As you can see, there are a number of different folders here based on subcommittees, but you're more than welcome to amend or delete these folders as it suits your governing body. You can personalise it to your needs. I'm going to show you how to add a folder. If you click the New button here, and then click New Folder, and name it whatever you see fit, you'll see that a new folder has been added. You can see who the author of that folder was and when it was added. If you click the 3 dots in the middle here, and then these 3 dots here, you can rename the folder and save. And as you can see, it'll automatically update your folder's name there. If you want to delete the folder, same process, 3 dots in the middle, and then these 3 dots here, and delete the folder.
It's worth pointing out at this point we've got clerks and governors listening into the webinar. Only clerks have editing rights for those folders. But as a governing body, I think it'd be really useful if you had to look at that page together and decide, which folders you want, which ones that you don't want, and then your clerk will take responsibility for editing those.
I'm going to show you how to upload a document. So if you go into the folder and the relevant term time, and you click the upload button here, you can browse and search the files that you want to upload. I'm just going to upload this one as an example and click OK. The document will automatically go in there. You can also drag and drop into this folder to upload. As with the folders, you click the 3 dots here and these 3 dots if you want to rename the document. So we're going to name it 1, 2, 3 and save. And as you can see, it's automatically updated there. And I don't think Ormiston Bolingbroke Academy want that file in there, so I'm going to delete that now by clicking these 3 dots and then these and then delete.
And as you can see, it tells you exactly who has amended any document in that file. So we've got an audit trail of information. So if suddenly all of your documents were deleted, we'd know who'd done that. And as Jess said, it's only clerks and ourselves who have editing rights and access to those files.
We also have the Governor Training tab here, where you can find information on the mandatory courses available for governors and clerks. You can find information on our training providers. We have GEL and Educare. As you may or may not be aware, GEL has recently undergone a new redevelopment of their website. So all clerks and governors will need to re-register for GEL. and information on how to do that is here by clicking the link and following these steps here. If you need any more information, feel free to call us or Gel using the information provided there. On this page you have your Academy's training log, which clerks have editing rights to, and it's important that you keep this up to date, as we will be auditing the governor training logs and clerks training logs in the coming months. So to edit this training log, you open in Excel, which will open the training log in an Excel spreadsheet.
Well, just opening this for the guests who've recently joined us partway through the webinar, just to tell you, if you have any questions, if you open the speech bubble in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you'll be able to see a chat box, and if you put any questions that you have in there, we'll address them in the question and answer session.
So after you've opened the training logs Excel spreadsheet, please make sure you click edit workbook before you put any information in there, otherwise it won't save properly. So once you've clicked edit workbook, you can put in your information, and once you've put in all of your governor's information there, just click save and then close the document. And if you click the refresh button at the top here, and scroll down, you should see that it's automatically updated there. I'm just going to show you again to remove that information there, because I don't think it. Lost my spreadsheet. Where's it gone? I don't know.
Bear with us, technical hitch. There we go.
So same thing, edit workbook, and I'm going to delete that, and delete that, and then save, and then close. And if I refresh this page, you'll see it's automatically updated there. You can also sort this information using these little arrows at the side. Clerks are welcome to put clerks' briefings in the training log as a part of their continuing professional development, and any training that's undertaken by clerks or governors.
And we don't mind how you present that information. The important thing is that we have a record here at Ormiston of the training undertaken by the governing bodies. We'll be particularly looking and auditing the mandatory training that we ask governing bodies to do. So if clerks could take an action from today to update these records, that would be really helpful for us.
So I'm going to show you the Governor Confidential folder now, which only clerks have access to, where you can upload papers from complaints, you can upload confidential minutes, governor forms, staff appeals and student panels. Here you'll also find the governor information table as well, and we do ask that you keep this up to date. As you can see, there are columns here for subcommittees, but if your governing body doesn't run with subcommittees, feel free to amend and delete as appropriate. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if you go to the top right hand corner onto this little cog here and go down to site contents, you'll see folders of all of the site contents. If you go to Governor Documents, you'll see there are a number of Excel spreadsheets here. You'll find the training log here as well, which you can amend from here as opposed to in the training tab. So if we go to the Governor Information Table spreadsheet and click on that, and edit workbook before we put any information in there, and we'll just put in, oh, don't want to do that. and save. And close. And then we'll go back and back again. And as you can see, the information has been updated there. I'm just going to show you how to delete that information. So click on the cog in the right hand corner, then site contents, and then governor documents, governor information table, edit workbook, and delete, delete. As with any other Excel spreadsheet, you can just delete the columns by right-clicking and clicking delete. And we're going to save that now, and close, and then we'll go back.
I'm sure all of you who are used to using OATpad as opposed to OATnet would agree that that's a much more user-friendly way of completing that information. And again, this confidential folder, the box that Jess is just showing you now that she's moving the cursor around, is really important that we hold that information. We send a lot of information out via group emails, and if we've got the wrong information here, we're at risk of sending out information to people who maybe not governors anymore, clerks who aren't employed anymore. So we really rely on this information and rely on clerks keeping us up to date. So we'd be really grateful if you could support us in that.
Next, I'm going to show you the Governance tab. Feel free after the webinar to explore OATnet and the other information available, but I'm just going to show you the Governance tab now.
And as Jess said before, just as a reminder, anybody who has an OATnet login has access to this information.
So this is the front page of the Governance tab. You'll find important documents here available for you to download. We've got a clerk's user guide to OATnet and a governor's user guide to OATnet here, the clerk's to governor's handbook, and the governor's handbook as well. We do recommend that if you are using any information or templates or documents, that you download them directly from OATnet, because we do update them quite regularly and upload them here. So this is the home page. We also have a services tab. So you can see what services Ormiston Governance Department provide. You can find Nicki Wadley's contact details here too. We have a training page in the Governance tab, similar to the one in your Academies page. When we host clerks' briefings or governors' briefings or chair of governors' briefings, we upload all of the resources here, such as PowerPoints and question and answer sheets.
Any papers that we would share with clerks during the briefing would go into there as well, so you've got them all in one easy to access place, so you don't need to be storing lots of things on your own PC and using up your storage space or having to search through emails for documents. So.
Yeah. We've also got an induction page here as well, where we provide information for new governors' induction process and the mandatory courses, more information on GEL and Educare. If you do require Educare login details for new governors, we do request that you send us an email and I can set you up with that. We can also produce GEL reports and Educare reports so that you can see what governors have undertaken, which training courses. We've got a guidance tab here where you can find general guidance from Ormiston Governance Department and other departments within Ormiston Academies Trust. We've got guidance on equality, exclusions, Ofsted, prevent, website compliance. Finance, HR and marketing have also put together some departmental guidance for you. So if you've ever got any queries or general queries, you can find guidance here.
I would just say at this point, and we'll talk about it a little more in next steps, but these pages have just been taken from OATpad, so they've literally been lifted from OATpad and moved across. As most of you know, the launch of OATnet was delayed somewhat due to some unforeseen technical issues that IT have experienced. and so we haven't had the opportunity yet to do the paperwork and data trawl that we really want to. So that's Jess and I's next job, is to really look at the information that's stored on OATnet and make sure it is the most up-to-date version, and also that it's in the right place. So if you could just bear with us for the time being with that. If you want to access something, if you want just to check out that it's the right version, do just give us an email or give us a call, and we'll help you out with that. Jess has lost her mouse.
There we go. We also have templates and forms available. We have template Academy attendance sheet, governor visit forms, invoice templates, and lots of other template forms here for you that you can access. As I said at the beginning, we do suggest that you download templates and forms directly from OATnet to ensure that you've got the most up-to-date version.
But the same warning goes with this page, as I've just said. As you can see, a lot of these documents are dated 2015. That's because they're a direct lift from OATpad. So at the moment, if you want to use any of these documents, do just check with us that they're the most up-to-date version, or that we haven't sent you out a more recent copy of it.
We've got a policies tab here. This policies tab is also available up here for anyone with an OATnet login to view. And here you can see we've got a lot of template policies available. You can see who manages that policy, the requirement, and lots of other information regarding that policy. And you can find mandatory, statutory, strongly recommended, and other OAT template policies. And we've also got a suggested policy protocol at the bottom of the page here.
For those of you who have read the recent governance newsletter, you'll know that we've got a licence, and we're providing a licence to all academies for the school bus. That service is going to really support us to improve on the policy work that we've already been doing since September. Your academies will get further information about their licences for the school bus in the coming weeks. But at the moment, I have a licence, and we can access any resource that you want from the school bus, and they provide all sorts of resources, from template policies to 3-minute reads, which are updates on what's happening in education, specifically governance or specifically teaching and learning. They have templates for reviews, so safeguarding reviews, SEN local offers, all of that kind of thing. So anything you can think of, they would provide it. And if they don't already have it, they have a need further help service, which we've subscribed to, which they will turn a document around for us in 3 days. So for example, you might have a hydrotherapy pool. OAT wouldn't necessarily have a hydrotherapy pool policy, because that would be quite bespoke to a particular academy, but the school bus would provide us with one of those if that was something we wanted. So we're really pleased about that, and look out for some more information about how you can access school bus. But again, in the meantime, if there's something that you are looking for, don't spend time trawling through Google and doing all that legwork. Get in touch with us and we'll find it for you.
We also have a Clerk's Resources tab here, where we host template agendas, template minutes, and template letters for exclusions. As a clerk or a governor, if there are any resources here that you'd like to see, please let us know, because we want it to be a useful tool for you.
And that page isn't where we want it to be at the moment, so that's part of our work over the summer, to really look at that Clerk's Resources page. We've listened to what clerks have told us in briefings around what they would find more useful with agendas and minute meeting templates, and we'll be doing some work again on that over the summer. I think me and Jess are going to have a very busy summer by the sounds of things, but that's going to be one of our priorities.
And Nicki's been doing some work with executives and trustees regarding the Academy Effectiveness and Compliance Grid. This is a work in progress, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is, the trustees have asked for a new way of ensuring that ensuring that they know that our academies are compliant, and that they're, taking their role of holding academies to account for their statutory responsibilities. So the work I've been doing is to work with the different departments to look at statutory information that trustees would find useful to have. This is a pilot, so as you can see, we've got the areas of compliance are standards and effectiveness, student data, governance, HR and finance. We collect the data in lots of different ways. As clerks, you'll know that we've asked you for some of this information, and thank you to everyone who shared that with us. Finance get some of that information just by having the financial returns come in, and we've also used census data to collect some of the other information. As I said, this is a pilot. The first data capture will be going to trustees in the next couple of weeks, and already from the information that we've had in, we can see that some of the questions aren't worded quite right, and we're not quite eliciting the correct information from them. So it is work in progress, but we want to be transparent. We want to show you the information we do share about your academy and why, and as I said, you can find out more about that here. So this will go to trustees 3 times a year, and that is in line with the census data capture, so that's October, January and May. Okay.
Oh no, that's not very good. We also have an area for our regional governance experts. These are regional clerks and regional governors that can support your local governing body with any bespoke support that you might need. This area just hosts resources for them that only they have access to. So I'm not going to show that to you at the moment.
There's no secrets in there. It's just that we don't want to be bombarding the site with people with unrelevant information and people thinking they've got to use a document that isn't necessarily relevant for their role. And so that's just a dedicated space for our regional governors to have access to some of the review materials that they may use, invoice templates, that kind of thing.
We also upload our newsletters to OATnet. So you can find all of our newsletters here, going back to December 2013. Our most recent one was an online version, and we'd love to hear your feedback on that, because it's something we've never done before. So we're interested to hear how it was perceived. You can download and access all of the newsletters here.
It's just worth saying, whilst Jess has shown you our newsletters, if, for example, Jess shows you enrichment, you also have access to all of the enrichment newsletters there. Okay, so that's really useful information for your academies that tells you about all the different enrichment projects, access to different funds and different projects that are available to your academies. So that's really worth you as governors, especially those who are on the co-curriculum or enrichment committees, having a look at those.
And finally, contacts and resources. Here you can find the OATmain telephone number and Nicki and I's contact details. You can also find a link to websites that are relevant for governors and clerks. And that is OATnet in a nutshell, really. Yeah.
So that is a whistle-stop tour of OATnet. We're now going to move on to some question and answers. We've got a couple of questions that have come in through the chat. Thank you, Julia. I'm glad we've made it look easy, and Adrian will be really pleased because that's our aim, that OATnet is an improved version of OATpad. So we hope you engage with it. We hope you find it useful. It is work in progress, so bear with us, but tell us what you need. If something is not on there that you need, let us know and we can make sure it is. As Jess has shown you today, uploading documents is easy, so it doesn't take us very long to do that. We work on Wizzy 2 screens, so we don't even have to go through the upload process, we just drag documents across, so that's really easy. So we'll go to some questions. If whilst I'm talking you've got any questions, pop them in the chat box and we'll answer those for you. I'll start with a couple that came through ahead of the briefing. We've had lots of requests for additional logins for OATnet. So as clerks and governors and principals are using it, we've had lots of different people who have different roles in the academies asking if they can have access. What we've agreed as a management team here is that all of those requests will be directed straight to IT, and they will then go to the relevant department, be that finance, HR, school improvement, governance, whoever that might be, and ask if that, that permission is granted. Now that permission isn't granted on an individual basis, it's not a trust issue, it is just does that person have a role that is relevant to accessing that information. So it's on a need to know kind of basis. So that's what will happen. So you're more than welcome to send requests in to us, but we will send them on to IT, who will then, if it's authorised, will create your logins and then we'll email them out to you. The other question that we've had is about changing passwords. Now Adrian had to create some 500 logins and passwords for OATnet. No mean task. He uses a password generator which accounts for some of the more amusing passwords that we've sent out. At this stage you cannot change that password, so we would ask you to keep it somewhere safe, make a note of it somewhere secure, because at the moment you can't change it. The second half of IT's OATnet strategy is to look at enabling people to be able to change those passwords, but this has been such a huge task moving across from OATpad to OATnet that it's been a staged launch, so that is second phase. So we anticipate that will come towards the end of the summer or in the autumn, but again, when that facility is available we'll let you know. We've also been asked about OATnet being available on iPads. I don't know if we can switch back to live screen. Thank you, my technical assistants. Jess, if you could just go to governance. Oh, agents. But most of what you see is available on iPads and mobile telephones. The bit that isn't are these whizzy tiles that are coming up now. Okay, that Jess will just hover the mouse over. They don't open on iPads, okay? So that is the difficulty. So we have some governing bodies who are absolutely paperless, and that's great, and we would support that. And IT are working around more mobility functionality for all aspects and areas of OATnet. So again, once we've got that ready, we'll let you know that that's available. But thanks to people who fed that back to us, because that was really useful. Okay, I just had a question from Julia about whether if we lose our details, how can we get them? If you come back to Jess in governance, she can reissue you details. So we don't keep any login details, but we can recreate your login, okay? The other question that we had was around the tables in Excel, so the governor training table and the contact details table. We were asked yesterday whether that was just an online, you needed to have Excel online. No, you don't. Microsoft support 2000 and 2016 versions and the online version of what you've seen today. Is that the right answer for that? Yeah, Adrian's nodding. 2013 and 2016 versions are supported. Okay, so if you've got those versions of Microsoft Excel, you'll be able to access and edit those tables. And for us, that is it around questions and answers. Does anybody have anything else? I'll leave you to ponder it a second. And we'll go on to next steps, and then we'll come back and just see if any other questions have come in. So as we said before, our next step is to really look at the content on OATnet and really get it right. We want it to be an up-to-date resource. We want you as governors and clerks to know with confidence that you can go to OATnet and any document that you download will be the most up-to-date version, and it is the best version that we can provide for you. That is going to take us a bit of time. We'd ask you to bear with us. We've got a huge amount of information to trawl through. A big part of the work that I've been doing since joining the governance team is quality assuring some of the information we provide. We're going to relook at agenda templates and minute templates over the next couple of weeks. And I will say it, and then it will happen. For the next clerk's briefing in June, we will issue you all the paperwork, all the templates you need for your next governing body meetings in the new academic year. So rather than sending you out those in August and you not having much time to prepare, we will give you all of those, and we will spend the clerk's briefing in June going through those. Okay, so you can all hold me to account on that. The other thing that we have on my notes are next steps. Once that piece of work is completed and Jess and I have gone through all of the documents, we're happy where things are placed, we think things are in the right, on the right pages and we're not duplicating anything, what we will do is OATpad will then go offline. Okay, so at the moment, if you've got access to OATpad, you still have access to OATpad. We prefer it if you used OATnet, but if there is something that isn't on OATnet that you know is on OATpad, absolutely, that's fine to use that.
Let us know.
And yeah, let us know, because that'll make our job when we're looking at all of this in the summer easier. But we'll let you know when OATpad goes offline. But that will be over the summer, we anticipate. And then when we come back in the new academic year around September, October time, we will send out a governor's survey and a clerk survey around OATnet, because you'll have had an opportunity at that point to have used it for a little while. You'll be able to navigate it, and then you can give us your feedback on things that might make the site more easier for you to use. We're not making changes as we go in. We appreciate everybody's feedback, and we're keeping an account of all of that feedback as it comes in, but we're purposefully not making changes as we go along, because we want as many people to use it as possible. Okay. Julia's just asked whether you should have access to the regional governance expert section. Yes, Julia, you should, and if you haven't, let us know, and we'll sort that out for you. Okay. So that's it from us in terms of OATnet. Whilst we've got you, what we are just going to quickly show you, if it's okay, is our Yammer site. So if you could just bear with us a second, Jess is going to talk you through Yammer, because we really want this to be an engaging, useful forum for governors. It's very difficult where we're all placed and all around different parts of the country for us to be able to network with each other and share our good practice and get support from each other. We feel that Yammer is a really useful way of being able to do that in some small way. It won't replace networking, it will never replace our clerk briefings or our chairs meetings, but it's an aid to that. So if Jess can just give you a quick look around that, that'd be great.
Yeah, we've recently sent out email invites to Yammer. We have two forums on Yammer. We have a Governors Forum and a Clerks Forum. As you can see, this is the Governors Forum here, where Nicki and I post short updates and resources, and clerks and governors can post.
So as you see, when that loads, this morning I've uploaded a resource that I came across, that something came into my inbox. Is your academy making these 10 safeguarding mistakes that Ofsted inspectors have spotted? So that is something that we thought would be useful for governors to have a look at, and to know whether your academy is making any of those mistakes, and then you can start asking those questions as governors around those issues. So as well as OAT updates, we try and put useful updates and links to news stories, that kind of thing. It would also be really useful if you guys engaged with that and shared any information yourselves. If you come across a great newsletter that you think other governors should subscribe to, pop a message on. If you want to ask governors something, if you're working on something and you want to know, does that resource exist out there already, ask people. I'm sure they'll come back and support you if they can. So yeah, do use that.
Yeah, you can ask questions, you can add polls, give praise and make announcements. We also have the Clerks Forum, which all clerks have been invited to. if you haven't received an invite, or if you'd like to receive an invite, send me an email and I'll send you an invite.
You should get a daily digest from Yammer, and I think you can adjust those settings to a weekly digest of anything that's been posted in your network. So you don't get constant updates every time we post something, but you should, just look on it every few days, and hopefully there'll be something useful there for you. And as I said, join in that conversation and post your own things.
We also have a regional clerk forum and a regional governor forum. We have an IEB chair forum, is that right?
And a chairs forum as well, but we're not actively posting in those groups at the moment. So if you see them on there and you haven't been sent an invite, don't worry, they're just set up for future use. We want to get the clerk forum and the governor forum as active, useful forums first, and then we'll move on to those others.
Yeah. That's Yammer.
So that's Yammer. And that concludes our webinar. Thank you for your patience. It's only the second one we've ever done, you probably can guess. We're not naturals, but I think it's given us some ideas of things that we can do for the future. If this has been useful for you and there are other topics that you think we could address through a webinar, please let us know. We recorded yesterday's and today's versions. We'll have a look at those, and then you'll know which one you think is best, because it'll be the one that's published. We will be publishing it onto Yammer. So if you haven't yet had a login, or you've lost your login, check your spam file. Just type Yammer in your search box and it would come up, or contact Jess and she'll sort that out for you. Okay. We'll just hang on, because I can see that somebody's typing a message, so we'll just see what that is in case it's a question. Oh, well, I've got to share this because it's so lovely. Thank you, Julia. Excellent session, very clear and professional. Thank you, Nicki and Jess. Well, thank you all very much for spending your time this Friday morning. And as I said, hope it's been useful for you. Okay, we'll hang around online for a minute and we'll just mute our mic and we'll just see if there are any questions coming in. Otherwise, we'll go offline in the next few minutes. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.